Back with another video in my debunking series. The topic of this one is, are black men marrying and dating white women because black women are too modern? We oftentimes hear that black women now aren't as good as the black women back in the day. Our grandmothers and great-grandmothers were of better stock. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, when interracial marriage bans were being lifted and some of the taboos surrounding the marriages were fading, black men were dating and marrying white women like crazy back then as well. Take a look at some of these old actors from that time period. You have James Earl Jones, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, all huge black stars at that time with white wives. Then you have Eartha Kitt, who was a big star at that time as well, talking about the issues that she received from marrying a white man during that time period. She talked about in this article how she didn't want to marry a white man, but she did because black men did not want her and they wanted white women. She talks about Harry Belafonte, who she had a sexual relationship with, who told her that there was nothing that she could do for him as a black woman. I also found some news articles from the late 60s and 70s from the New York Times where black women were talking about how they didn't want to date interracially because it would negatively affect the black community. They said it would hinder the growth and upward movement of black people as a whole, and that black men weren't on the same page. If you look at some of the quotes from the interviews that you can pause to read here, you'll see black women talking about black men dating white women for nothing other than their whiteness, and black men dating subpar or unattractive white women, or having high standards for black women but letting white women get away with mediocrity. And we see quite often that that's the case now, still to this day, with black men and white women. You have these Kevin Samuelites that talk about weight and dress size for black women, but will give an obese white woman their last name in a quick second. The women at that time were also quoted as saying that black men were saying that white women were making it easier for them by not requiring anything out of them or challenging them in any way. And we know that that's definitely the case now. They want doormats, and black women are just not capable of allowing that to happen with all we've had to suffer collectively and historically. A lot of the articles were just saying that black women just didn't have a desire for white men. But there are black women who are willing, I don't want to say to settle, but they're willing to go there if they feel they aren't going to get a black man that's on their level, which is where this divest movement is coming from right now. And then you have videos like this with James Earl Jones mentioning that black women were uptight because of the things that they have gone through. And watching this just lets you know that the disloyalty issue that we have in our community has been present for a long time and isn't the fault of any black woman.
Of our earlier conversations, you mentioned that the black women you've met have been uptight. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll answer the one question, what do I mean by uptight? Going toward a more militant attitude about their own identity. And in many ways are way ahead of the black man because I don't know why, but in many ways are replacing the black man. There's a whole